joining us this Monday morning on KHQN, 8 to 1480 a.m. We're glad to have you with us. Glad you survived Christmas. Hope that you got all the good things that you wanted and that you're sitting somewhere with your feet up and resting. We thank you for joining us on pat.utahvalleylive.com. Thanks for being with us. Share the address with others, and we do have a chat room if you'd care to make a comment or ask a question. We'd be happy to have that, and we'll answer it on the air if we're able to. Today we have a brand new host that's taking over for the first time right by herself. She'll be kicking her show off actually on January 2nd on Monday mornings in this time frame between 12 and 1. Julia Currey, thank you very much for stepping up and bringing an exciting guest with you, Bob Lavender, today. We're happy to have you both on the air, and it's all yours. Take it off. Julia Currey.
Thank you so much, Pat. I'm so happy to be here today, after the day after Christmas, and my guest today is our main sponsor, who we've been talking about for quite a few shows now. This is Bob Lavender, and Bob is with ldsagents.com, and he came on today. We've been friends for 20, how long?
20-some years.
20-some years. Bob and his wife, Carol, have been my friends from when we were in California, and now we live here in Utah. So happy to have him. ldsagents.com is a wonderful service he's been providing for us. And when did you start?
1999.
1999.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been doing it for 12 years now.
And where did you get the idea?
Well, that's interesting. It goes back a little ways because I had joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at a certain point in my life many years ago. And it kind of stemmed from wanting to do business with people who spoke my language. And that's kind of how it started. I had this idea, general idea, and then it became real estate specific after a period of time, and then we started putting it together, and here we are today.
Wonderful. And here we have a wonderful commercial for ldsagents.com.
ldsagents.com. Moving? ldsagents.com is a free nationwide service connecting you with over 3,000 real estate agents who understand questions about meeting house locations, ward boundaries, early morning seminary, and family neighborhoods. Buy, sell, or finance with an agent who understands you. ldsagents.com.
Are you an athlete looking for a natural boost to your workout? Have you studied up on the benefits of nitric oxide production to your performance? Then you'll want to try Kyani's Nitro Extreme. Nitro Extreme promotes cardiovascular health and improved blood flow, supports muscle contraction and relaxation, as well as nerve transmission. I use Nitro Extreme right before I lift weights, and I've never been stronger in my entire life. If you don't try Nitro Extreme, you'll never know what you're missing. Call 801-362-9552 to order yours today. That's 801-362-9552.
Thank you. ldsagents.com and Kiani, wonderful product. I had a great Christmas. What about you, Bob?
We had two great Christmases, actually. We had one in Texas, and then we had one up here last night.
When was the one in Texas?
Last week.
Oh, great.
Yes, Carol and two of our sons went down to Texas to move some furniture, and she's from Houston and has family in that area of East Texas, and so we celebrated with them down there, and then came back up here and had a Christmas with our two sons that had driven the furniture back
They
up.
drove the whole way from Texas.
Yes.
How long did that take?
It took them 4 days.
Oh, wow.
And they were 4 days behind schedule because, as Carol put it, we couldn't get started till 3 in the afternoon on any given day.
It's exhausting. So, moving is exhausting.
It was very traumatic, and so I actually stayed up here to do things, and they went down and got it started, and then we all met down there for a family gathering.
So you had your two Christmases.
Right.
What a great way. I love it when you have a birthday and people give you gifts before your birthday. Then they give you gifts and think of you on your birthday. Then those that forgot feel so bad. And so you can milk it as long as you want. You can have your birthday as long as you can. Sort of like Christmas, too. Well, we had a great Christmas also. I had all my 3 children here, which was just wonderful. Jacob is here. He was in Alaska for a while. Jacob is here. And Lisa flew up from Phoenix. And she's here for one more day, and then she'll go back. And then Catherine, who lives here also. And we had a wonderful Christmas. Went to our church service, which was nice. It was just an hour. 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
That's nice.
The hour service was great. Wonderful program, narration. 3 little girls who are in the French immersion program at their grade school sang Bring a torch Jeanette Isabella in French and then in English. And then 2 young 15-year-old boys played an awesome violin duet. And then, of course, our choir sang. And it was packed. They had to open up the back curtains. I don't know how crowded yours was.
It was crowded. And did you notice that nobody, because it was only one service, that nobody knew how to leave afterwards?
Everybody lingered.
Everybody hung around and talked like there was no tomorrow, and I had fun. In fact, I was walking past somebody in the corridor, and I said, hey, nobody knows how to leave, Dave. And he went, yeah, I can get used to this Protestant lifestyle.
Oh, so. That's fun. That's fun. Well, it is fun because, well, the spirit of the day was so contagious, I think. I think also L. Tom Perry's daughter. L. Tom Perry's daughter is actually in our ward. So he was there up on the stand with us, and that always creates a buzz when there's somebody of that stature in the church that was there. And
he's a nice person.
Yeah, and I usually don't get nervous, but I was asked to say the closing prayer, and I looked out there, and there's just a sea of people, and I thought, well, I'll just go by the Spirit and whatever comes. And so it was a great day. And then,
do you sing in the choir?
I do. I sing alto, and sometimes I sing tenor.
Yes.
Did you sing in your choir?
I did, yes.
Good.
We have an unbelievable group, and what amazes me most about them is that as talented as they are in music, that is not normally their main field. They're talented in other fields. They're professors of different things and stuff like that, and they have different jobs, and we have physicians and other people. And the amount of musical talent is just amazing to me. And I follow along. That's the nice thing about me. I position myself strategically next to certain people so that I can follow them. They teach me these songs because they're very complex, and I need to follow along with them. So.
Well, one thing about Bob that a lot of you don't know, because you've just met Bob Lavender, is that he's a very talented musician himself. He's written and composed a lot of songs, and puts together a little band. He plays guitar, and you have a very, very nice voice. Matter of fact, they invited my kids and I to their house for Thanksgiving. We had Thanksgiving dinner with them, and Bob wrote a song about Thanksgiving. It was so great, and so he wanted to teach it to us. And of course, my kids and I, being the out-of-control extroverts we are, okay, let's learn a new song. And so we learned the song and sang it about 5 or 10 times, and
yes.
We thought it was great. He had a live audience with us when we came.
I'm still working on that song. I really want to finish it up and get the words just right and everything.
Well, good.
So
well, next year maybe we can have you sing it the Monday before Thanksgiving on KHQN 1480 or UtahValleyLive.com. We can archive the Thanksgiving song so you too can use it for your family.
It'll have to be a slow news day.
and sing the song. So wonderful. Well, last night then we sat and we watched some movies on Jesus Christ, and then we watched the movie 17 Miracles about the handcart trek and some of those experiences.
I have not seen that movie. That's one we need to see.
It was very good. So
I've heard about it.
Christmas was fun. You know, we put so much work and effort into it, and then it's here, and then I don't let it be done. I refuse to let Christmas be done. So the first thing I do today is I went out and I did my half-off Christmas shopping. And I go to one store because it's never crowded. And I go there actually 3 days ahead and scope out what I want. And I might have to hide a few things in the back if it's something I want and I don't want anybody else to get it. But I went this morning, my daughter went with me, and we went to Walgreens. They have some great stuff. And went to Walgreens and bought a whole bunch of some things I was looking for specifically to give next year as Christmas gifts, and half off. You can't go wrong with that.
No.
Do you do any Christmas shopping after Christmas?
No.
No. Are you a procrastinator?
Yeah. No. Well, no. But as we're talking about this, I'm thinking, well, you're giving Carol, my wife Carol's sitting here in the audience, and you're giving her ideas, but I know she's already on top of this.
Carol is the master shopper.
She is.
That woman can shop. I should go with her.
Can.
Walgreens. That's my tip. I shouldn't be telling people because now they're going to go and get everything. Nobody was there. There was no lines. And then actually the grocery store was our next stop, and they were just marking everything down. So we packed it all up in our boxes, and we're ready for next Christmas.
Yeah.
It works out really well.
Well, I should tell you, I didn't really give you much detail, but when we were in Texas for Christmas, we actually did it up on a farm.
Oh, you did?
Carol's dad
the
has a
farm.
farm.
Right.
And it's 135 miles north of Houston, in a town called Nacogdoches.
That's easy for you to say.
Yes, we call it Naco.
Naco.
But Nacogdoches. It's an Indian name.
Nacogdoches.
And
What does it mean? Do you know?
means Nacogdoches.
That's a good meaning for that word. Okay.
And we make all kinds of words out of that. We call it stack of roaches.
Stack of roaches.
Yes, if you've been to Texas, you'd appreciate that. And but it's a lovely setting. And a lot of people think of Texas as dry and ranch area and arid, but East Texas is heavily wooded.
Oh.
And they actually farm the trees. They farm the trees on Carol's dad's farm.
Oh, they do?
Too, from time to time, yeah. They harvest the trees. They're big, tall pine trees. It's a very heavily wooded lumber area. And there's lumber mills in the area and everything. So it's really fun to be on a farm for Christmas, too.
Oh, nice.
As nice as it is here, and we really love it here, it's great to have Christmas on a farm, if you can imagine.
Christmas on a farm. What's the temperature like there? Is it
It happened to be
hot?
beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was actually, Carol was there the week before, and it was cold and rainy, but it really warmed up nicely. It was absolutely beautiful, blue skies.
Is it humid in East Texas?
It is. And so when the temperature is 50 degrees there, it's pretty chilly because it penetrates your clothing. But
Right.
whereas here, 50 degrees, we think that's okay, you know.
Right.
But it couldn't have been nicer. And the whole family was there because they did a little family farm business
Oh,
too.
nice.
But if you can imagine that,
I
it's
would
really
love. I
nice.
would love to have Christmas on a farm. That sounds great. Well, let's talk a little more about LDSagents.com because I am happy to have you here, and you are the man to go to on it. So, what exactly is LDSagents.com? And you said you started in 1999, right?
Right. It's to put it very simply, it's a real estate referral network of real estate agents. And these are agents that work for different brokerages around the country. But in 1999, I started doing the footwork for creating a mapping system and getting some software written and put together so that we could keep track of everything that was going on, and then going out and finding agents here and there. And it really was quite a bit of footwork that we did. And but what we do is we connect people who want to buy a home or sell a home or get a home loan with real estate agents.
Okay. Okay. Do they have to be LDS?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. In fact, we have non-LDS clients that they watch LDS-related shows on TV. So, when we were advertising on BYU TV, they'd see us on there.
Oh.
There's a lot of people around the country that are not LDS that really like things like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir and some of the family things that are going on. And so they would get in touch with us. And we have literally hundreds of non-LDS agents in our database that we use on a regular basis. And in some areas, there's no LDS agents, and we've gotten recommendations from LDS contacts we have in those areas.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And so we have a lot of LDS agents that we do business with. And I think it's important for people to know that we're not a religious company. We're a commercial company, and I like to make that distinction. We are a culture-based company.
That's a big difference.
Right, and so every culture has its own language and idiosyncrasies, and people like to talk to real estate agents and other people who speak their language and know what they're looking for.
Like if they're looking for specific values that the people have, or where they want to live specifically for what school, or those types of concerns.
Yeah, right, and where chapels are located and youth programs. We hear this all the time.
Well, I got to interrupt you just now when you said where chapels are located. I know when we lived in California for 20 years, it wasn't just the LDS people that wanted to go to the LDS churches and play basketball. Everybody thought, what a great place, to play basketball, work on their genealogy. It's not just LDS people. Other people like to use those facilities and services.
Right. Yeah, the church has become very well known for genealogy. In fact, I was told at one point that actually there's more non-LDS people that use our resources than LDS people. They're out there. So anyway, I think we were one of the first LDS, if not the first, LDS company to go online using the moniker LDS. And now there's hundreds of them out there that are doing this sort of thing. And also interesting, I think, is that since we started up, there's actually been Jewish and Muslim real estate.
There really? Wow.
referral networks out there as well.
Wonderful.
So it's kind of fun.
Wow, Bob, Lavender, LDSagents.com. You are a trendsetter, aren't you?
Yes, I
Good
am.
for you. Good for you. Now, I think another thing we need to throw in, just to make sure we know, that LDSagents.com is not affiliated with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, nor is it a proponent of, how do you say that?
It does not endorse our products.
There we go.
Or services.
See, he would know.
And we've actually been up there and met with church legal authorities over this whole thing, and fantastic meeting we had with them, and everything is running smooth. And they know what we do.
So you're a separate service, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. So if people are moving, that's the first thing they should think about, whether they know someone that's moving or they themselves are moving.
Right.
Think of LDSagents.com.
Right, and the first thing you said there is becoming very prevalent in our business is that it's not just people who are moving themselves, but others who have family members who are moving. And I'm seeing this all the time now. We have a place on our website where when you register with us, you can put in how you heard about us. And more frequently, it's becoming through a friend or my father told me or something like that. It used to be strictly through the advertising on BYU TV or KSL.com or some other thing like that. But now the word is out there, and that's very gratifying to me that we've kind of established over the last 12 years a reputation for ourselves of trust.
I know. I wish you would have been around in 1984 when we moved from California to Arkansas for a residency program, because it would have been nice to know that the chapel was a good 20-minute drive from where our home was, and to know that a lot of those things would have probably helped a little bit in picking a house for us, because we are active LDS, and you go back and forth to church a lot. So
Right.
that would have been a great service to have.
It is, and I think the other thing worth mentioning to people is that it's free. What we do doesn't cost them
And who
anything.
doesn't like free?
Yeah.
Free is good.
Yes.
Free is good. And
Yeah.
it's nationwide.
It's nationwide, and people go to our website and they register, tell us where they're moving to or where they want to sell a home, and then we set them up with an agent in the area.
Great. Well, let's go to a commercial now. Break on LDSagents.com.
Hi, this is Mary Louise Zeller. I'm an independent distributor with Kayani, and I've also achieved the rank of Blue Diamond inside of 3 years. I have a degree in biology. I have studied the research on our trio of products that Kayani refers to as the triangle of health. These three products work together synergistically and have more power in changing health. Many network marketing companies bring healthy products to market, some not so healthy, but many of them do. They've brought good products to market. This triangle of health product, Kayani Nitro Effects, our third product, is a life-changing product. It is backed by Nobel Prize-winning research. Nitric oxide is called the molecule of life. It's necessary for all cell function, the repair, the defense, the maintenance, and function of every cell in your body. It is responsible for whether or not you have cardiovascular health or cardiovascular disease. When you have sufficient levels of nitric oxide in your body, you will have cardiovascular health. That was proved by that Nobel Prize-winning research. Nitric oxide is a neurotransmitter, and that is the way all of the cells in your body operate as a unified organism, and it's also the way your brain works. So nitric oxide is fundamental to life. You can live 5 minutes without oxygen. You can only live 5 seconds without nitric oxide. This product is consistent with my commitment to have a body that will do my dreams, that I can do my athletics all my life. And these three products, nitric oxide, precursor product, that's very important because synthetic nitric oxide is dangerous. It has side effects. This is plant sourced, and it is a precursor that your body will use these nutrients in this formulation to produce nitric oxide. Very, very important to having outstanding high performance health and ageless body all the days of your life, but in combination with a Kayani Sunset and Kayani Sunrise, the antioxidant Sunrise, and Kayani Sunset, the omega-3 fish oils with tocotrienols, protecting your body from cancer improving cardiovascular health. In 40 years of researching natural supplementation for health, anti-aging, and high performance, I have never come across products that made this much fundamental difference, slowing the aging process, actually reversing the aging process, and high performance. As a high performance athlete, I've never seen anything in 40 years give me the performance I experienced with Kyani's Triangle of Health products.
And we're back. Thank you so much. Nice to be back with you. A few things I wanted to mention. In the past, when I've been on with Pat, I keep you up to date of what's going on in Utah Valley. And of course, Christmas is over, all those wonderful activities, concerts, and performances that we could go to here in the Valley. And with New Year's coming up, we have First Night, and that will be at the mall down in the Provo Mall, Provo Town Center Mall, and that is located at 1200 South Town Center Boulevard in Provo, and that's just close down there by the Home Depot and the freeway. For more information, you can call 801-852-2401, and there is a charge. It's $3 for children 12 and under, $4 for adults 13 and over is a $4 charge, and 3 and under are free with a paid adult. So they'll be giving you wristbands that you wear, and they can be purchased the day of the event for an additional $1 per person. So you can get the pre-purchased wristbands at Wingers at the Provo Town Center there at the mall, or at the Provo City Parks and Recreation Office, and that is located at 351 West Center Street. And the wristbands are on sale now, so if you want to save $1, go to either the Wingers at the Provo Town Center Mall or the Provo City Parks and Recreation Office. So First Night, and they also need volunteers. If you'd like to volunteer to help at this event, you should call 801-852-7636, and they're going to have a big band dance there, Top 40s dance, there's a food court, concessions, there's games, there's balloon artists, laser tags, maybe Bob Lavender might be performing on his guitar. They're going to have a food eating contest, photo booths, entertainment, karaoke. Maybe Bob Lavender will sing for us all karaoke. They're going to have fireworks. It's a wonderful, safe place to go because it's all inside, it's warm, and our evenings have been very cold. Very cold.
They have been.
Yeah. Have you ever gone to First Night down there?
We've attended some things, and I really like the fact that people around here get involved in these things.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much community support there is for these sorts of things, and people are fun-loving people around here.
It is, and it's just jam-packed. You're going to see people you know for sure. Also, the shops at Riverwoods are going to have a New Year's Eve celebration, and that's from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. So that's a good 12, 13, 14 hours. 11 in the morning, they're going to start having their fun New Year's celebration so families can come with kids. Radio Disney's going to be hosting it, and the shops at Riverwoods. It will be at Riverwoods. They'll be giving away prizes. They'll be having games and celebrating 2012 as they count down. So that's at the shops at Riverwoods, which is at 4801 North University Avenue in Provo. Phone number for more information on that is 801-802-8430. And the price for that is free. And we like free. We like free. So,
And, you know, I will not be playing my guitar there, but I will be sound asleep while all that's going on.
Well, maybe Carol will go with me. She's the night owl. And you're the one that goes to bed
that's
earlier,
true.
right?
That's true.
Yeah, maybe Carol will go with me. Well, I have a little story I'm going to share about New Year's Eve. My late husband was a physician, and you know John. And so every year they would have him work the New Year's Eve shift because he was LDS and didn't drink. So they figured, well, he wasn't going to go have fun anyway, so we'll put the Mormon on the New Year's Eve shift at the emergency room. So he was complaining to me a few weeks prior to New Year's. He said, well, I'm working New Year's Eve again. And I said, oh, okay, that's just sort of how our life has been. And he said, yeah, last year I was doing an exam that wasn't pleasant at the stroke of midnight. It's just not that fun to be working the ER. And he said, and then crazy things start happening after midnight. And I said, well, I'm sure it'll be an interesting evening for you. I'll just be home with the kids. So my mind started to click and started to think. So I made a plan. I talked to my neighbor across the street because my kids were young. They were still in grade school. I asked her what she was doing New Year's Eve. She was older, and she said, oh, we're just going to be home. I said, could you babysit my kids? I said, I'm going to go pull a trick on my husband. And she said, sure, what are you going to do? So I called the nurse at the ER, and I told her my plan, and so they were all in on it. So what I did was I borrowed one of their cute little short nurse dresses, and I put a name badge from the hospital of Heather on it, and then I had some fancy little gloves and high heels, and I rented a black wig, and I must say I look terrible in black hair. I rented a long black wig, and I had on this little nurse's dress, and so I went into the ER, and they're all waiting for me, and they checked me in just like I was a regular patient. Have I ever told you this story?
No,
oh, this is a good one. And so
Doesn't surprise me, though.
It doesn't surprise you. Well, yeah. I'm not giving you all the details for a very good reason. But
Okay.
I went into the ER. They checked me in. My name was Heather, and then they took me into the exam room. Now, in emergency rooms, lots of times they have sections just with curtains, but they took me specifically into a private room. And so the nurse sat me down. She goes, how you doing? I said, I'm fine, I'm fine. She goes, are you nervous? I go, of course I'm nervous. I go, I've got to disguise my voice because he's going to know it's me right away. And she said, keep your head down so he can't see your face. I said, okay. So I had this long black hair hanging down. And so he came in, and I was sitting there on the gurney, and he's asking me questions. Now, Heather, how are you? Fine. Well, I understand you have a medical problem. Yes, I do. But I came to see you, Dr. Mitchell, because I heard you were the best. And so I started to flirt with him. And he got so uncomfortable. He was just, you could tell it was not a comfortable situation, which was a good thing to see that he wasn't comfortable with that. And he was on a stool that was on wheels, and he kept backing away from me as he's asking me questions about my medical condition. And then he said, well, I'm going to have to examine you. And I responded slightly inappropriate to that. And at that point, we'd been going on for about 5-10 minutes. I couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't take it. So I slapped my hands down on the gurney, and I said, hi, honey. Happy New Year! It's your wife. And all these nurses come in with cameras, start taking pictures. He turned bright red. He was so embarrassed, and he's looking at me, put on a jacket, cover yourself up. It was hilarious.
That is amazing.
The next day, they had pictures up on the bulletin board in the ER of this Heather that came in for a medical problem. And so all the doctors would walk by and go, oh, yeah, I know her. Oh, I've seen her before. so that was how I surprised my husband one time on New Year's Eve.
I'm married to a nurse.
Oh, you are?
Maybe she can nurse me through New Year's Eve next time around.
Maybe she can help you a little bit.
Yes.
Well, there's my New Year's Eve story, and I haven't told a lot of people that one, but it was really fun. So the next New Year's, they said, what are you going to do? I go, I can't top that. There is no way. No way I can top that story. So
that's untoppable.
It is untoppable. So
but you're unstoppable.
Oh,
so
I am.
It's a tough one.
It's hard. So anyway, I don't know what I'm doing this New Year's. I guess you're going to be sleeping. And
yes.
I
finally managed to make it through 4th of July awake and watch the fireworks out the backyard.
Oh, I came over one time to your house for that, and
yeah,
you have a great place to watch fireworks.
Yeah, but for a number of years, I couldn't even stay awake for 4th of July.
Oh, my gosh.
But now I'm getting better at that.
Well, are you an early morning riser then? Is that?
I used to be, but I tend to get up later now. But as I told you one time, what I like to do is I go to bed early, and I like to think about music.
Oh. See, I told you he was a musician.
I do. I think about music while I'm laying in bed for an hour or so. Then in the morning, I'll start thinking about, if I'm working on a song, I'll be thinking about it again. It's because you can concentrate totally when you're in that environment. You haven't totally woken up yet. You're still kind of subconscious, and thoughts will come and go.
No distractions.
No distractions, and I've discovered, that, however, that these great lyrics that you think about at night, late, and you write down with the light off or something like that in the morning, don't make any sense at all when you wake up, when you're fully conscious.
Can you read it at all?
Well, it's chicken scratches.
Yeah, I bet it is
sometimes. I have some next to my bed right now.
And then some of your lyrics, you're going, what was I thinking?
What? It made so much sense when I was half conscious, yes.
So even though
It's
you're
weird.
in bed, you're awake and you're thinking and you're working on it.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, Bob is with ldsagents.com, and let's go to commercial now for that. Thank you.
LDS members have unique questions when moving out of state. LDSagents.com has answers. Since 1999, LDSagents.com has been a free nationwide service connecting you with over 3,000 real estate agents who understand your needs. Tell your family members about LDSagents.com.
Text or email your friends and family and let them know about this show. We're live on this radio station, KHQN AM 1480, and on UtahValleyLive.com, where this show will be archived for later viewing. Also, Utah Valley Live is seeking additional programming for our growing network. Talk shows about religion or politics, how-to shows, and more. Go to UtahValleyLive.com and send us your contact information and the type of show you would like to broadcast.
I'm back. This is Pat Sheranian, and I want you to know how happy I am to be broadcasting again. Please join me and friends at 12 o'clock noon on KHQN 1480 AM and on the internet, pat.utahvalleylive.com. We talk about religion, politics, local businesses, relationships, and more. Join in the conversation in our chat room with your questions and comments or call 801-362-9552. 801-362-9552.
Okay, thank you, and we're back. I have Bob Lavender here with me, and he is the founder of ldsagents.com. Bob, I want to ask you a few more questions about it.
Sure.
First of all, I want to thank you for sponsoring us for this hour and seeing the value of what we have here to offer Utah Valley. Thank you.
I want to tell you that your business relates, in my mind, to my business so closely that it really is exciting for me. I told you one day that I'm kind of living vicariously through you on this thing, because when we started ldsagents.com, I really saw a need there that was specific to the LDS community and to Utah Valley, that I thought could be, that I thought we could provide a service for. And because there's a lot of people spread all over the world that aren't here but want to be in touch with this area. They like having the security of this and being closer to the church and to their relatives and things like that. That's why KSL.com does so well. People are on it from all over the world that are spread around, that used to live here or went to school here or something like that. And so that's why we started LDSagents.com. I thought people wanted that connection, and that's why I'm so excited about this show you're doing, because I think you're doing exactly the same thing. You're getting out there to people around the world with local stuff that they want to be in touch with. I think it's very exciting.
Oh, thank you. You're such a great cheerleader, and we appreciate that support, because we see a vision of this, and not only nationwide, but like ldsagents.com, if there's somebody living overseas and they're looking to come back to the States or mainland, wherever they're living, your service is a wonderful, because it's on the internet and it's free.
We've been able to help a lot of military people.
Have you? Yeah.
Coming back. We've got one we're working on right now, and of course, I was in the military. I spent 6 years in the Air Force, and so I feel close to those people, and I have an idea of what they're doing. And when they register with us, I really go the extra mile. I go the extra mile for everybody. I go 2 extra miles for the military people and their families.
An extra mile.
They're spread so thin.
They are.
They're working so hard, even in peacetime or in training scenarios. It's a dangerous job that they're doing, and I really appreciate what they're doing, and so we do cater them.
Great. So if you have family, relatives, friends that are serving in the military and are looking for a home and looking to move, go to www.ldsagents.com, and they'd be more than happy to help you, and it is a free service. So after all these years, you've been doing this since 1999, what are people saying about your services, and what are their thoughts? Do you get any feedback from
all
them?
the time?
Oh, good.
Yeah, we get lots of feedback. In fact, before I came over, I looked onto our registration database to see how many people we've had, and it's been over 7,000 people have come to our site.
Really?
And registered
Wow.
with us. Now, not all of those people end up buying a house.
No.
because they find out first if they're financially qualified and things like that. But that's how many people, well over 7,000 that we've dealt with. And we've had a lot of people actually have successful transactions with our agents, and that's what keeps us going. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, yeah. And when they first came to us, I think it was because it was a novelty. They saw us out there. We were doing a little bit of advertising here and there, and they said, whoa, there's somebody that's doing something I'm interested in. And,
well, and they're probably thinking, what kind of an agent? I want to be in movies. Maybe it's an agent for LDS people to get into movies.
Right, yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot of curiosity behind their motivation of what to look for.
Yeah, in fact, we've actually been approached by many different kinds of agents, insurance agents, and things like that, asking to be part of our website, seeing if they can be included. We haven't done a lot of that, although we do have some favored people that we go to from time to time in those areas. But yeah, so this is what it is. Real estate agents.
It's real estate, housing, looking,
Right.
buying, selling, investing also, if people want to invest.
Yeah, there's some of that, but we
Possibly.
basically do residential things. And then now, of course, it was a novelty at first. A few people tried us, and now the word has gotten around, and so we're not just a novelty anymore. We're actually a part of the system, or the fabric of the culture now. People are coming to us all the time. I had 2 this morning, even before I came here.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and we
wonderful.
get a lot of testimonials that I save. I save the testimonials. I brought a couple of them here, and I won't go into all of them, but just to read you the first line of a couple.
Okay, great.
And these are all from the last month.
Oh, good. I'm glad you brought those in. Go
Yeah,
ahead
one
and
is,
read
Dear
those.
Bob, I had to let you know that the real estate agent you referred us to has been more than fabulous. Karen is phenomenal. When we flew down to Texas, we had one weekend to find a house for our family of 5. ... And she
Wow.
took care of the whole thing. They had to leave early. She got with them through Skype.
Oh, really?
And did some
To
sort of
look?
video
Oh,
thing with
wow.
them and got it all set up. And so,
And that's going the extra mile, too.
right. And now, after all these years, it's not just a matter of referring you to an agent. It's an agent that we know ourselves.
Right.
And they've been tested through our system, and we're confident with them. So a lot of our agents get multiple referrals because they're so good in certain areas. Another one here from Chicago. This one was a dentist. He wrote me on the 15th of December. He said, Bob, Lynn is a gem, a unique and charismatic individual who is thorough, caring, and most of all, a friend. I cannot speak high enough about Lynn. We are grateful to know him and trust him. He has a great ability to appeal to all the players in a real estate transaction. Then he goes on to talk about his sense of humor and knowing how good his timing was on this sort of thing. And everything. So I save these sorts of things. Here's another one here I won't read to you, but talking about professionalism and things like that. So I do respond to these sorts of things. I make notes, and I know these agents, and we're not just a commodity where we put you into the system and you flail around with an agent out there. I stay on top of you. I take each of these referrals personally. And I want each one to succeed to the maximum extent possible. And so I stay on top of them, and I'm communicating with the client and the agent all the time. That's what makes it a lot of work, actually. It's not just a matter of handing out a referral to an agent. It's staying on top of it and making sure everything goes as well as
But it
can.
sounds as if everybody reaps the rewards of that. I mean, for someone to take the time, a few of those were a few paragraphs long that I saw, for someone to take the time to thank you and be specific, and that says a lot. People may be happy with the service and go, oh, that was good, that worked out fine. But for them to go the extra mile also and to thank you really speaks volumes for that
and these were
service.
totally unsolicited. These just showed up in my email
How
box
nice.
one day, and it's great. And like in the polling business, for every person that writes, there's 10 that don't write that have had a
True.
good experience. So we're doing well.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you came up with the idea. What were you doing before this?
I was a pilot for 37 years.
Flying
and
big jets?
Big jets.
Big
yeah.
jets. Okay.
And I started actually flying right here at BYU when I was a student. I came up here because a friend invited me to come to school with him, and I knew nothing about Provo, Utah, nothing
And you
about
came
the
from
church.
Southern California?
From Southern California. I grew up in the Torrance area. And I came up here on a lark. I saw a picture of the mountains. He showed me the class, where they have all the classes you can take. And on the front was a picture of the
catalog,
mountains.
the BYU catalog?
Catalog,
Okay.
yeah. I still remember looking at it that day, and he said, "Why don't you go to BYU with me?" Because I was planning on going to UCLA and doing their ROTC program.
Oh, right.
And I'd already gone through the boot camp, actually, in the summer of 1970. And so...
oh, now we know how old you are.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
Start calculating.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And...
but you look marvelous for your age. You do
Thank
look
you. You do too.
marvelous. Okay.
So does your son. He's here too. So I remember I was sitting in his kitchen actually looking at this thing going, this looks like a good deal. So he said, "Why don't you call up there and get them to send you an application?" So I called up, and I called to the administration building, and a young lady answered the phone, and I said, "I'd like to apply." And it was actually after the deadline for applying.
Oh, you were past.
We were past the deadline. And she said, "Well, I'll send you an application, but you need to talk to Brother Brown." And in my mind, all these wheels started turning. I went, Brother Brown? All I could see was monks walking around, shuffling around this building.
Brother Brown.
Yeah.
You hadn't heard that terminology.
Never heard that term.
Yeah.
I'd been to a couple of dances with him at his ward in San Pedro, but I don't think I'd ever even gone to a meeting, a church meeting.
Right.
And so I didn't know what to expect, but that really surprised me. And so I sent the application in. This is completely off the subject, isn't it?
That's okay, but it's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
So we packed up the car, not knowing whether I'd been accepted or not. Well, this is 1970. I could never have gotten into BYU today.
Hey, me either. I have the same story just like yours, but go ahead.
Yeah, so we drove up, and we were driving up 9th East, almost to Wasatch Elementary School, and we saw a fellow walking out of a house. So we stopped and said, "Are there any places to stay here?" And he says, "I think there's one bed left open in this house."
Oh, really?
Yeah. His name was Chris Black.
You were driving in from California?
We were driving in from California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he said, "You need to go down and talk to the management people down the street on 9th East." So anyway, before we did that, we went in, and I did get accepted. I learned at that time that I was accepted to BYU. Here I was with all my stuff piled in the car.
You came up with faith, just thinking, "I'll find a place to live. I'll be accepted. What the heck? Let's go."
I came up on a lark. I'm not even sure faith was in my vocabulary at that time.
It probably wasn't, but that's what it was. There's different terms that mean the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went over, and they did indeed have a bed left in this home with, it turned out to be 10 of us.
Oh, my goodness.
That home is it was right next to Wasatch Elementary School. I parked in their parking lot, actually, with my Mustang back in those days.
Oh, that's been torn down.
It's now condos in there.
Yeah.
But the guys I was in there with were fantastic people, and the girls next door, the 12 girls next door, were fantastic girls.
Didn't that work out well?
It did, and I'm still in touch with some of them, and it was just wonderful. And I started going to church with them, and I within a few months I went, I really like these people a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about all this doctrine and everything yet, but something's right about this. So anyway, I was in the ROTC program at that point, and they put us through a little flight training course out here at Provo Airport to see if we could handle the little ones.
So you went up in little planes?
Little airplanes, got our private license via the Air Force.
1970?
1970 to 71.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Vietnam was going hot and heavy, and so I went into pilot training in West Texas for a year. And,
is that where you met Carol?
No, I met
Your
her
wife?
after that.
Okay, all right.
Right, we met in Austin later, but so this was West Texas and Big Spring, Texas, and I pilot training. The Air Force was not my cup of tea.
Oh no!
I'm I wanted to be on the beach in California like I had grown up, and all of a sudden I was having to get really disciplined about things.
Yeah, it's no fun to have to grow up.
Am I going on too long about this?
No, growing up is no fun, I know, but eventually we all have to do it, right,
Well,
Jake?
I put the brakes on the growing up thing at some point in my life, so I stopped. But that was a growing experience. So I became a pilot in the Air Force, and my job was flying low-altitude, high-speed reconnaissance
Oh, interesting.
in a fighter-type aircraft, taking photographs and other sensory operations that we did back in those days. And I got stationed eventually in Austin, Texas, doing that, and met Carol. Actually, almost the first day I was there, and we married 6 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Boy,
And
that was fast.
here we are today. So anyway,
that's what you were doing before LDSagents.com.
that was a long way of
That's
saying
okay. That's
this is
okay.
what I was doing.
You're a great guest because you'll talk. I like it. I like guests that talk.
You'll get tired of me soon.
No, we won't. We would never get tired of you. So with everything that's been going on, I know we've had some pretty shaky years with our economy.
Very
how's
shaky.
the real estate market looking these days?
It's unknown at this point what's going to happen. I think when your economy depends on that of Italy and Greece and things like that, there's a lot of unknowns out there as to where all the dominoes are going to fall. But it's really specific to certain areas right now. Some areas are very weak, which present very good buying opportunities for people.
True,
Others a little bit stronger. The strong ones would be areas like Seattle and Washington, D.C. And by strong, I mean that the prices have remained high, even though there has been a drop.
Oh.
There's still relatively strong areas. Washington, D.C., because of all the government hiring that's gone on there. California is still high because it started so darn high. They've had a big drop, but it's still high out there. There's other markets that are really down and present really good buying opportunities. Las Vegas is one, and Phoenix area
yeah, Phoenix, I would
is
think so.
one of the areas where you actually can pick up homes for less than $100,000.
Oh my!
And
like, would that be? The 1,600 square feet? What or 2,000?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Low, yeah. There, it just depends on the area, and that's why you want to talk to a good agent that's a specialist in those areas, which I'm not. I work the whole country setting up these referrals and managing the network, but you want to speak to a good knowledgeable agent in those areas.
And you can find a good knowledgeable agent in any area of the United States by going to www.ldsagents.com.
Right.
And it's a free service. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be back with you in just a moment.
I'm going to tell you how to shake your way to better health. You need to have the whole body vibration machine. You should, because it gives you a no-work workout. This machine works all your muscles for you, and it feels like a full-body massage. Whole body vibration is about three things: movement, reaction, and gravity. It increases muscle strength, tones and firms muscles, builds lean muscle mass, improves flexibility and circulation, decreases cellulite, helps back pain, fibromyalgia, and osteoporosis. You stand or sit on the platform of the machine, and it moves you in a seesaw-type motion, bringing your body slightly out of a natural equilibrium. By keeping your body constantly out of balance, your muscles have to work and react, and it feels good. 10 minutes on the whole body vibration machine is like a hard 1-hour workout at the gym. Call for a free demonstration. 801-362-9552. We will bring the machine to you and set it up at your home or office. 801-362-9552. I'm going to tell you how to shake your way.
1 minute.
Thank you, and we're back. Thanks for being with us today, this day after Christmas. Bob Lavender is here with me, and he owns ldsagents.com. And Bob, what's the best advice you could give somebody who's interested in buying a home?
Well, here's what I'll say.
Okay.
The best advice is to not get underwater in debt. And that's number one. It will affect you for many years. Let me put it like that. If you have debt problems, bankruptcies, and things like that, some things are unavoidable. And certainly in this world, people have got caught in things that they wouldn't have chosen. I understand that totally. And it could have happened to any of us, really. It's been a tough, and a lot of it's dependent upon decisions made by other people. So right from the start, if you're at when I served an award at BYU, this is one thing I told the kids: watch the credit card bills. If you can avoid having a credit card, do it. They're going to send them to you in the mail, actually, and somehow you can get a credit card that I can't get. They'll give them to the college students. And they rack up tremendous bills, and you get to a certain point where if you're making the minimum payment, you can never pay it off because the interest is accruing faster than your payment is taking care of it.
Yeah.
So don't overdo it on the debt. And if I could speak philosophically just briefly, happiness does not come from owning a big house and having big bills. And we've seen a lot of this in our business where people really have overextended themselves, and then when they come to us, they can't buy because they've had a bankruptcy or something like that.
Or they're upside down.
Yeah, and it can be, if you're a couple, if you're a married couple, one spouse needs to say to the other, like there might be a weak one in the family. You need to say, hey, we can't do this. We need to stop and keep things under control.
Okay, so what's a good credit score?
A good credit score would be something like 640 or above. That's what they're requiring now.
Okay.
And before you buy a home, you have to get pre-qualified for a loan or show that you have the cash to buy. In the old days, like 3 years ago and before, you could get away with almost anything and you not even have a job. You could have a no-doc loan, they call it, no documents. But now they're really tight, and they will watch your credit score all the way down to the point where you sign the paper to get the loan. And this is really a shocker to a lot of people. You could be qualified for a loan one day and not qualified for a loan the second day, the next day.
My.
Well, you're sitting at the table getting ready to sign.
Really?
The lenders will be checking your credit to see if you've racked up any more bills.
Wow, that's
along
a great
the way.
tip. That's a great
So
tip.
watch what you're doing. We have one of those in progress right now where one of the members of the family cannot stop spending long enough to keep the score up above 640.
Oh, no.
So be real careful about that
Be
stuff.
careful
Be
with that.
realistic.
And really quick also, Bob has an awesome van that he's driving around town. Tell us about that in 1 minute or less.
Yes.
Tell us about your van.
Well, the van is a big deal to me because I really wanted to accomplish a couple of different things. And one was I wanted to have something that wasn't dependent upon petroleum products.
Good, good.
And so I wanted to get a natural gas van, which I did. And it took some time to plan it out and everything and to get enough tanks on there where you can have range to drive it somewhere. And then as I was thinking about it, I thought, hey, I'm getting a van here. I can put advertising on it. So we had it wrapped with LDSagents.com logo. And so
The
I'm
whole
driving.
side, back, everywhere?
Right,
Except
yeah.
the front windshield, right?
Front windshield doesn't have
Okay.
anything on it.
Okay, good.
And I can actually see out where people can't see in with the wrapping on the windows.
Oh, that
It's
works
interesting how it
great.
works.
Yeah.
And I can
yeah.
see people reading the van as they're parked behind me.
Oh.
They're reading the stuff on the back.
So if you,
Show you.
it's a large van.
Right.
So if you see it around, it says LDS Agents, or it says moving, it has people on it.
Right.
That's Bob Lavender's van. They'll be driving around Utah County, and who knows, it might end up in Salt Lake, down in St. George, or all over the place.
Payson.
Well, Bob, I'm so glad you came on with me today.
It's been fun.
Besides being friends for years, you have a wonderful company that just offers great benefits for people.
Thank
It's
you.
free, and it's a tried and true, trusted company. It's www.ldsagents.com. And I want to thank Bob Lavender for being on with me today.
Thank you for
this
having me.
Day after Christmas. You're welcome. I'd also like to thank Kelly Kent, who is working all the technical boards for us. I am so technically challenged. Thank you very much, Kelly, who will be going on a mission to the Philippines soon. So thankful to have her. And I'm most thankful for my dear friend, Pat Sheranian. After my husband passed away, she bounced into my life and basically told me to pull up my bootstraps and go get a job, and here's the job you should apply for. And I got the job at the chamber, and then she came to me and said, here's your next job, go apply. And I said, oh, Pat, I can't. I've only been at the chamber for 6 months. I can't do that. She goes, honey, at your age, it doesn't matter. Go apply. And so I got my next job working for the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and now Pat has given me this wonderful opportunity to try out radio and this live feed across the internet that we've been doing. And Pat Sheranian has truly been a godsend in my life, and I want to thank Pat for this opportunity, and I look forward to next Monday coming on with other guests and having my show. Pat's trying to help me come up with a name for the show, and she just has these grandiose ideas, as we all know Pat does. And I was thinking, well, I don't want to limit myself to some of it. But last week we had some pictures of me skiing. Now, you've been skiing, haven't
I
you?
have,
Yeah.
yeah.
Skiing at Sundance. It's all man-made snow, and
Very
it's
nicely
great.
done.
It's done it's great. I've been a few times. I know you've been a few times. Go on up to Sundance and get some skiing in there. So hopefully next time I go, I'll put on a helmet cam. I have a GoPro camera, and put on the helmet and go down the hill and have some friends and family there too, and we can
witness the event.
Witness the event, and we can show that next week or in the next few weeks. So again, this is Julia Currey saying thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a great Christmas and have a wonderful New Year, and put a lot of time and thought into thinking how you can improve and make it a better year for yourself and all those around you. So thanks, Bob Lavender.
Very welcome. Thank you for having me.
LDSagents.com, and you all have a great week, and I'll talk to you again on next Monday. Goodbye.